Hi, I'm Darren and welcome back to PC Journal. We've been talking with Jason Sowell about current initiatives. Today he's going to talk to us about the Hope for Homes project, where he takes the TV show Extreme Home Makeover and brings it down to a smaller scale with people in this local community, helping them address the large issues so then they can handle the day-to-day better. So stay tuned to PC Journal as we talk with Jason Sowell. Welcome back to Positively Christian. As we continue our interview with Jason Sowell from Current Initiatives, in our last video, Jason talked about the laundry project, and you won't want to miss out on that. So check out our other videos and find out about the laundry project. Amazing ministry that Current Initiatives is doing in the local community. So today, Jason, welcome back.
Thank you.
And let's talk about the other programs that you have under the umbrella of Current Initiatives.
Sure. The two other things that we do, one is called the Hope for Homes project, and that is a home renovation project for lower income families, working class families that are struggling just to keep up. Their repairs of their home are beyond their financial ability to handle. They own their home, they're working in some form, they're trying to pay their bills, trying to keep things together, but they don't have $10,000 in the bank to put a new roof on their house that's falling apart.
Now, that brings up a question. Sometimes there are churches or other organizations that'll come over and, they may put some paint on the outside, make it look a little nicer, or they may help build a handicap ramp going in. But you mentioned a hole in the roof. It sounds like that your project aims to do things that maybe require professionals to come in and do work on the home.
Yeah, absolutely. The families that we do them for go through a pretty extensive application process, and they're usually recommended through a church or a local organization that knows the family and knows the extent of the damage on their home. And most of what we do is beyond just a couple of volunteers showing up and slapping some paint on and that kind of stuff, which is all good. I don't want to criticize that because that's very important. But these projects are literally, there's a hole in the roof, and that hole has fallen through, and there's a hole in the ceiling in a bedroom, there's for example, the last house that we worked on, their AC unit. They could never get their air conditioning below the temperature in their house below 80 degrees.
Wow!
It never would go when they couldn't figure it out. So when we worked on their house, and we always have professional contractors come in and do the work that needs professionally done. Right. We have them do it so that it's permitted, it's up to code, all those things. And the AC guys came in and they realized whoever put this thing in before, who was not a contractor, not an official contractor.
Not licensed, not bonded, not whatever,
they had run the supply line, or the not the supply line, but the other one that takes the air out.
Okay,
they had
the return.
Return, thank you. The return was connected right back into the supply line, rather than going straight into the unit itself.
Wow.
So it was just recycling the hot air that it was pulling out. And they didn't know, because they're not AC people. They don't know. They're friends who maybe are handy. They may not know, but until a professional got in there and started pulling stuff apart, they found.
So the results that directly benefited them from having their air conditioner repaired was what?
One is their electric bill went down.
Wow.
Their first month in their house, their electric bill was like $900.
Oh my!
And it's a 4-bedroom house. It's not a massive house. It's a typical house, but it was like $900 to $1,000, and they're already kind of lower income, and so that it was their first house that they've been able to buy. They finally had made it to that point, and killed them right out of the gate. Now they're already behind, but that was all because someone who, prior to them being in there, did a bad job and messed up, and so it hurt them financially, and it put them in a bad spot.
So here they were, barely scraping by to be able to make their monthly house payments. They sure didn't have an extra, basically another house payment to pay towards an electric bill every month.
Right, exactly.
And so you guys heard about it, you brought in professionals, you looked at it, you repaired it, you lowered their utility costs, you put money.
Right.
What did it cost them for you guys to come in and do this?
It didn't cost them anything.
Nothing to the homeowner at all?
No.
Wow.
No, because the only thing that we ask from homeowners, and we're very specific about the families that we do them for. The stipulation is they have to own the home, obviously. They have to be working in some form, even if it's part-time at McDonald's or whatever, but they're working. And the third thing is that they are giving back to their community in some form, whether it be through activity through their church, or they're involved in a civic organization in their community, some way that they're giving back and trying to better their community. And then beyond that, what we ask from them is before we come in, because we take over their house for about 5 days, 4 days that we take over. We put them in a hotel. The one thing that we ask from them is, before we come in here, we need you to spend time cleaning certain things. We need you to pack your dishes. We need you to, almost as if you were moving out of the house. There's certain things that we ask you to do that is the cost on your end, if you will. We're not asking any money from you, but we're asking some time and labor on your part to help us prep things before we come in.
Okay.
And the reason we do that, a lot of families, they ask, like, hey, can we stay and help because we want to help work on the house? They feel somewhat obligated,
Yes.
to do that. But I always tell them, listen, well, I don't want you here while this is going on. This house has been enough stress for you as it is. And I always ask them, when's the last time you've had a vacation? Most of them would say, well, I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years. My wife and I haven't been on a dinner date, for who knows how long. And so I say to them, listen, I want you to go away because I want you to have a vacation. You need that more than you need to be here working on your house. And I appreciate that you want to help in that way. Yeah. And that's why we're working on your house, because I'm glad that you have that attitude. But it's better for you to be gone and to spend time with your family and do something you don't typically get to do.
Now, when we talked earlier, you said that charity, the purpose for charity, for you may be a little different than some other people. Tell me a little bit about your vision behind what charity, an end result, or at least a next step after charity. What does that mean?
Sure. Yeah, I'm a big believer in charity should not create dependency, that it should create empowerment. And that's ultimately charity is another word for love. That's what it is. And love creates empowerment for people. Love does not create dependency. Love looks at a child and says, as you grow up, I'm going to teach you how to be able to take care of yourself. That's what love is. Love is not, I will do everything for you for the rest of your life. You sit on the couch and I'll do that. It's not love, because it's not empowering to that human being. But I think in church world especially, we've gotten really good, and even just, in our world in general, the government functions this way. I think a lot of churches function this way. Most of the time with good intentions. It's usually not with I want to create dependency for this person. It's just I see the need, I want to help meet it. But indirectly, unintended consequences we created a dependency on them. Okay. And I want to create empowerment. I want to look at a family, whether it be through the laundry project or through the home project. I want to be able to bring that family back to their home and be able to say, we did these things for you. This is what we could do. We couldn't fix everything, but these are the things that we could fix and that we had to fix. Your house is back up to code. Now it's on you to take that next step. We got you to the point where you're back to square one, so you can start in a better place now. Because I'm a believer, when it comes to those homes, I'm a believer in good people are what change neighborhoods. And a good family, if we can help a good family, they're going to multiply that. That's going to happen through their neighborhood. They're going to take the initiative on their own to, something as simple as, for example, this one family that they had a problem with their sink, and they couldn't figure out what it was. Meanwhile, they also had a hole in their roof through the ceiling in the mom's bedroom. She didn't even have a bedroom. There was mold everywhere. So our people got in there and we're working on the house and we're rebuilding this room. Our plumber goes into the sink to work on that, and he realizes that the problem with the sink is on the end of the tip of the faucet that screws off, there's a little filter thing in there that was clogged, and that's why no water would come out. Wow. All you had to do is take that tip off, replace that filter.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, done. But I realize in that their problem is so big over here, they can't see that simple thing that would have been easy to fix. Yes. So if we can fix that big thing, that empowers them to be able to look at the other things that, I don't have to paint or fix every room you have. If I can fix the big problem, the big obstacle for you, that empowers you to take the next step to fix the other things.
That's that's motivational. Now, we have talked about the laundry project. We've talked about Hope for Homes.
Yeah.
You have another one called Affordable Christmas.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that one.
Yeah, Affordable Christmas is probably for me the epitome of an empowerment type of scenario. I grew up in church. I worked for churches. You've probably seen this 100 times with the church I worked at that you were a member of at the time. I don't know if you're around when we did Christmas stuff, but I've done this 100 times where you hear about a family in the church that's poor, or the neighbor of a family in the church that's poor, and they're not going to be able to provide Christmas for their kids. Mm-hmm. And all with good intention. We would say, man, let's help this family out. Let's go. What do their kids want? They want a bicycle. They want all these things. Let's go get that stuff.
Buy the gifts and,
right.
and give
let's
them
go
to mom
take
and
it to
dad
them, and let's show up at their house and give it to them, or let's have them come to the church and we'll surprise them with all this stuff. All with good intentions. The thing I learned in that, though, is that is very emasculating for a father, especially. Yeah. Imagine being a dad walking into that situation and the embarrassment of, here's all these people. Yeah. And that dignity of being able to say, I handled my business for my family. Mm-hmm. So again, not my idea, much smarter people than I came up with this idea, the idea of Affordable Christmas. So instead of us being the hero going into some random home, let's make those families the hero. How do we do that? Let's still get all the things that a family needs, all the bicycles and tablets or whatever, all those things. But let's set up a shopping area for them to come to, and they come and shop. And just as if they were going to Walmart or someplace else, where they would shop knowing what their kids want for Christmas, the things they've asked for Christmas, that kind of stuff, they can come and shop. They can get the things that they know their kids want or need, and they pay for it. But instead of paying $150 for a brand new bicycle, they get a brand new unused bicycle for $10. Okay. So it makes it affordable for them. They're still paying, but most of these families would much rather put money on the table to provide something for their kids, because they get to go home. They get the satisfaction, the dignity out of that, the empowerment from that. Most of them would do that, but they can't afford it. So as a result, they don't provide anything for Christmas for their kids, or they sacrifice a bill that should be paid to do that because of all the pressure. A couple years ago, we had a single dad, come and shop. He got invited, and it's not open to the public, by the way. It's all invite only through some local churches and some community organizations that already know the families. Mm-hmm. And a great example of this: a dad comes, he gets invited by this organization. He shops. Every family can purchase 2 items per child in the family. If they get a bicycle or something like that, they can only get 1 of those per family. So this guy buys a brand new bicycle, gets it for $10. I end up helping him walk it out to his car. So I'm asking who the bicycle's for. And he's telling me about I think it was 10-year-old son at the time. Wow. And he said, first of all, my son asked for a bicycle specifically for Christmas this year. And I had, a few months ago, and he said, I'd looked at my son and said, son, don't get your hopes up, because Dad can't afford that this year. And he said, I remember being at Walmart and I saw this exact bicycle at Walmart. He said, I know how much this bicycle cost at Walmart, because I looked at it and I thought, man, that'd be the perfect bicycle for my son, but I can't afford that. Weeks or months go by, he gets invited to this thing. He comes to shops, he sees the exact same bicycle that he saw at Walmart, and it's $10. And in his own words, he said, now I get to go home and be the hero to my son. And in that moment, 1, it broke my heart. 2, I thought, man, had we done what I've done so many times in the past, right, with good intentions, and heard about this guy whose kid wanted a bicycle and couldn't afford it, and I showed up at his house and said, hey, I got a bicycle for your son, how emasculating that would have been for a father, the message that would have sent to his son about his dad. But in this scenario, he gets to go home. That kid never knows anything about me or any of us, or how his dad got it, doesn't matter. The fact that he walked in that door and his son looked at him and said, my dad came through for me. Yeah,
that's cool. Isn't it cool to see God at work through those things? And of course, you've talked about how it helps that dad. Right. The kids under the other method, and a lot of churches and a lot of organizations still do that. And, sure. And that's a good thing. But this one's different. So the kid usually gets blessed either way. And under this one, the kid and dad. Right. But even beyond that, the people who are able to come and participate, the people who partner with you and help provide the money so you can go buy the $150 bicycle and sell it for 10, or the people who buy it and donate it or whatever. What do they tell you about their experience from being involved in that? Because we have a lot of those people out here who want to have their hearts warmed by helping somebody else.
Right. Yeah. Man, there's all kinds of things. They begin to see charity in a different way as well. They see the value in that family being able to go home and be blessed. And one of the things that I always tell people, and I think that they've learned and volunteers say all the time, more often, probably more than anything else that we do that they may be involved with, they see how, they're just things. They're toys, they're bicycles. They eventually will break and fall apart and go away, or the kid will move on from those things. But it's what those things represent. It's the hope that those things represent. It's the empowerment that family is walking out with. It's the conversation that they have with the family. And again, as they're shopping, they have a personal shopper that's walking with them, that's talking to them about their family and learning about their kids and learning about them. And so on the way out, not only has that family made a connection, but those volunteers have made a connection with someone they didn't know before. And they've probably had a spiritual conversation with them. They've talked about their kids and my kids and whatever. There's a deeper thing that happens in that those volunteers walk away with and go, this is what Christmas is about. It's the hope that we talk about.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not about all those things. It's not about those toys or bicycles or whatever. Those are just symbolic things that represent something much deeper.
Wonderful. Well, we've been talking to Jason Sowell about current initiatives and the projects that they're involved in reaching into the public square, about empowering and encouraging other Christians to live out their faith in that public square, which is what Positively Christian is all about. Jason, thank you for being here, sharing what you guys are doing. We promised our viewers that we will bring stories like yours to them. Hopefully they'll get inspired and say, wow, we can do something like that, or maybe they can partner with Current Initiatives. Current Initiatives is a not-for-profit organization, and I know they would welcome your contributions. What is a way that they can get in touch with you? A website, a Facebook, what do you have?
Absolutely. Our website and our social media are all pretty much the same thing. Our website is engagecurrent.org, engagecurrent.org, and then if you go to Facebook, it's @EngageCurrent, Twitter is @EngageCurrent, Instagram, everything's all @EngageCurrent. So www.engagecurrent.org. You can donate there, you can sign up to volunteer for projects, you can contact us, we'll coach you wherever you're at.
Wonderful. Send us your other stories about people you know that are leading organizations or just doing something by themselves, like the young man that Jason told us about in Ohio who started in the laundry project all by himself. Let us know. We want to get their stories out to you so you can be encouraged and inspired at the same time. Thank you again for checking in at Positively Christian. Come back again on a regular basis, and don't forget you can also donate to our cause. We welcome your donations to the extent that God has blessed you through our ministry and letting you know what's out there. Thank you very much. This is Darren for Positively Christian.